All right, so we have officially started season 2 of the Navy Wrestling Club podcast, and we are back with now my seasoned veteran guest, Dustin Haislip, board member on the club, 2012 graduate, 141 pounds, good friend, and Navy wrestling enthusiast, the man, the myth, the legend, Dustin Haislip.
Hey, thanks, babe.
So we got a lot to go through.
Yeah.
I sent that agenda out. I'm sure stuff will kind of branch off from that. I hope that we obviously talk about. I want to hear what's going on in your world first. Let's see, how you're doing, what you've been doing with the team this summer, and what's going on in West Virginia, and then we'll kind of talk about what our guys have been doing so far, and what the club's been up to since the spring campaign kicked off, and then we'll do a quick recap of the campaign, and then a little teaser about all the hard work that we've that people have donated and contributed to. So a little bit of a teaser about what your money and everyone's donations are going to be going towards in the near future, and then a little highlight about what's to come in the fall. Looking forward to October when we do our blue and gold, and still a couple months away from that. But Dustin, you obviously play like an integral role in that setup and helping me bounce ideas off of you and figuring out what the best way to execute a fundraiser / social alumni gathering and make it a special event for not only the guys on the mat, but for everybody that comes back and watches it, whether you're an alumni or family member. So Dustin, thanks for coming in. What have you been up to, dude? Like what's been going on?
Oh, thanks for having me, Peyton. I always love talking to you and talking Navy wrestling and doing anything I can to help the guys out and get back and see them and support them however. But myself, I'm just doing a little bit of individual coaching with high school kids here in West Virginia, mostly with my high school kids at Musselman High School. Just starting off small. Still not a lot of widespread interest for kids training in the summer, here.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to, at least offer that and get kids better in the area and grow the culture of wrestling in this Eastern Panhandle. I think it'll grow for sure. It's just going to take time. There's a lot of other little clubs around here and guys that have done it for a while since I've been gone. So kids are in the area going to other little places like in just the nearby, areas. So we have, the interest in wrestling is growing, I think, nationwide, and it's happening here too, which is good. So I want to stay involved in it and do as much as I can for the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia and continue growing that.
Yeah.
And
you're good. At the high school you went to, right?
Yeah.
You're coaching at your alma mater. Okay.
Yeah, Musselman High School. We have a youth program. They don't do anything much in the off season. So the one thing I did this past season, was go to some youth practices to interact with parents and see what kids we have coming up through the program.
Yeah.
So that'll be good for future, and also made all my wrestlers, really, if they wanted to earn their letter, which I got this idea from Mason Bailey at East Fairmont in West Virginia. They had to come to at least 5 high school or youth practices to earn a varsity letter. That was a requirement, right? Not just being on the starting lineup, but so that was good for them to interact with the youth kids and then teach and coach and to show them what it's like, how frustrating it can be, or, how explaining something your way maybe doesn't relate to another kid. So it was good to get them in there was a good idea that Mason had.
No, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And the kids were receptive to that. Like, did it
Oh,
work
yeah.
out good? Yeah.
Yeah, they enjoyed it. And another good thing is getting the kids. You know, my kids aren't that great, so then they're in the youth league practice, seeing what the youth coach is telling the kids and teaching what they're going over. And my kids are doing the same moves in the corner. Like, yeah, you should probably be going to youth practice too, you know, because, you know, any more instruction and technique they can get is good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the flip side, like having to be the guy teaching or showing something to somebody with less experience, I think forces you to know the material and the technique better also.
Definitely.
So teaching makes you a better, athlete or wrestler as well. So that's cool. I love that idea, and it's cool that kids are buying into it and it's working out for you. Yeah, no, it's good. I know, when I introduced you or whatever at the beginning, I made it sound like I haven't really been talking to you, but obviously you and I talk almost on a weekly basis at this point.
Yeah.
So for those who I don't talk to on a weekly basis, I guess they're not as aware of what's going on around the yard. I-Day was last Thursday.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Getting to see a lot, obviously this was just my first year being around the staff and around the yard. Getting to see the class of, the plebes now that that the staff had recruited, Coach Collab, Blazeberry and Ty, like recruited, seeing them on their visits and then actually seeing them go through, the head shaving and all the swearing in and everything was kind of cool. Being on the opposite side of that, like being on the opposite side of I-Day with that perspective was pretty cool. And I think it's going to be a killer class. Like I didn't see any like worried faces or anything. So great families, great athletes, great kids. It's going to be a bunch of good dudes
Nice.
on the team.
How big is the class? How big is the recruiting class?
Well, I mean, you know how it goes. Like, I think they get about 10 to 12 chips per year, but then there's another 10 to 12 walk-ons that get their way in there. So I think there was about 12 chipped guys this year. And that's including 3 Napsters, 3 RTC guys that went through the gray shirt year that we're doing. And then I think it was 6 or 7 other guys that I saw meet up with us right after their like swear-in thing. So
that's great. That's exciting.
Yeah. So I-Day just kicked off. We're over halfway done with our camps, the high school camps. Those have been going good. We did our technique camp for a week, and then we just finished the SEAL Elite camp.
Nice. Those are going well.
Yeah, no, they've been great. The feedback I've gotten from families and the kids has been great. And I haven't been super involved with it. I've done a couple technique sessions and helped Blaze with like some of the admin stuff, assigning rooms or just directing traffic at check-in type stuff. But gotten good feedback. But this year, the SEAL camp, I think, was super special because we actually had a heavy involvement from the NSW community.
Cool.
Led by Ray, like Borgia was in town.
Good.
Yeah. So Borgia brought Watson up, and then a couple other guys that he works with out in California.
Hopefully Watson wasn't teaching much wrestling, right?
No. Yeah. But he actually put his shoes on and was getting after it with some of the high school kids.
He just needs to show the kids how to carry a boat or something like that.
It was hilarious. Yeah. I haven't seen that guy in like over a decade.
No,
so
that's great. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Johnny's doing good. It's great seeing Ray. So and then we've got a week off this week, and then next week we'll start our like tournament camp, which is what I think you were going to try and do next year, right?
Yeah, I definitely would like to get my kids in next year. I only had 5 kids this summer be interested in a camp. So the head coach at my high school here we took them to West Liberty, which is in the northern panhandle of West Virginia. And it's one of the top D2 programs in the country.
Yeah.
And, so they had good stuff. The group of kids that were there is probably better speed for what my guys are. But they had some good sessions. It was 5 days total.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And they got I think like if they got all the matches and no forfeits, right? At their weight for their team camp, I think the kids got 12 to 15 matches.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. So, but next year I would like to definitely get ahead and make sure they come to the Naval Academy team camp. It's closer. Two, it's where I want them to be. So
yeah,
it's gonna be better. So I think next year I'll have better turnout, kids interested in wanting to go too. So it'll be good.
It would be fun to get make it an alumni thing too. You're running a team like Brant runs a youth club up in New Jersey. Mason obviously runs a team and I know there's other guys out there that are affiliated to some high school programs. Brickian's coming down with his high school team.
That's right.
Nice. And then there's a couple other guys. Alex Benoit. You probably don't know him. He's a younger guy, but he has a team in Virginia that he's coming up with. So, it'd be fun if that tournament camp just turned into like this alumni rivalry. High school.
Yeah, that'd be it right there.
But it'd be cool to get you down for that. And I think it'll go. Yeah, similar to what you were talking about. I think you walk into that. We've got 6 or 7 we'll have 6 or 7 mats running each session with, I don't know how many, 24 teams. And then I think they leave the end of the tournament having like 15 matches. So it's a good one.
It's good.
But yeah, and then, obviously everybody else who's not doing Plebe Summer or helping us with camps is kind of shotgunned throughout the country doing Pro Trimid or MagTaf or Leatherneck, SOAS, like all of the stuff. So it's been cool getting some pictures back from everybody. And but on the flip side of that, it's been a little quieter around the room. Obviously, guys aren't in there training every single day unless they're here for summer school. Yeah. But with that being said, next month or July, towards mid-July, our NAAA blocker starts, which I'm obviously pumped to get everybody back for that. And just part of me feels like the season just ended, but at the same time, I'm like anxious to get going again. So mid-July, those guys will come back.
That's good.
Yeah. I think we'll have like 35 guys.
Do you have guys there now that are helping out with camps?
Yeah, actually, well, like the guys who just graduated, were helping with some of the SEAL Elite stuff. Like Coderhant was around, Hansen was around,
Nice.
Kale Krebs, Dayton, Delvicio, like those guys kind of helped. We didn't have anybody. Oh, and then there were a couple guys help us like usher dudes around Bancroft to make sure they got to their rooms the right. But they've all got
taking care of them right away.
I mean, you know how it is. Like if you're around the yard, it's not because you're on leave; it's because you're busy with stuff. So it is hard to get those guys either pulled from the classroom or, a lot of I had like YP cruises and stuff during first block and zero block. So, we haven't seen a consistent group of guys come through the room, but that'll change mid-July. We'll get them back, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's good.
So let's kind of segue into the spring campaign. We did 10 weeks, and this is like my first time doing a campaign, I guess, not necessarily by myself, but like last year I had Aaron helping me a lot.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really have much to go off of, like that feedback from donors or somebody to bounce ideas off of. That's why I was I was bugging you, I feel like, a lot of the time.
Nah,
But
not at all.
yeah, go ahead. What'd you say?
I said, yeah, not at all. I mean, you can bug me anytime, for ideas and stuff, because that's how you can make sure you're thinking of the best way to maybe run a campaign or different asks and stuff like the trailer.
Yeah. Right. So that's exactly where I wanted to go with this. So we started the thing, um, just for everybody listening, like we're trying to raise annually around $200,000 a year to run our operations for the year. That goes to the coaches, that goes to travel, equipment, um, and so on. And the spring campaign was, or let's knock out half of this in one 10-week campaign, with the hope of hiring a new athlete, and I'm pleased to, share, like, we did that. We got $103,000
Excellent.
raised in the 10-week campaign. That's between one-time donors and people who have signed up for, a monthly donor subscription. And we were able to hire our next full-time athlete, which is
That's
a
exciting.
big deal. Yeah, it is. And I'm excited to introduce. I'll get him on the podcast in a
For
couple
good
weeks.
things.
Yeah. And he's gonna bring another level to the team. And if history repeats itself, bringing Quinn in, getting Josh on the stand, like, hopefully this guy is able to rub off on some other young guys.
Right.
And every year, if we're able to continue to build on this, it's going to be something special to going on in Annapolis. So I'm excited to get him on the podcast. I'm excited to introduce him to everybody. I'm not going to share his name yet because I wanted to do that through like an announcement type thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you brought up the trailer, so I'll let you share that information with everybody.
Yeah. I mean, we knew the end of last tailgate football season. Um, Carrie and coaches brought up that we wouldn't have a tailgate trailer because the whoever owned the trailer, I guess, was what we've been using for the past few years. Parent, is graduating and leaving, and we don't have the trailer anymore. So it's like, oh, okay, well, we should be able to, talk to the board or raise funds, and we'll get a trailer. It should be no problem. Well, and then, time goes by, months go by, and we're in the summer, and I think we've mentioned it a couple times before. It's like, oh yeah, other guys I've talked to, like Zach White, I've
Yeah.
talked to different guys about it, and at certain times they've been like, oh, we can find a trailer. Like, there's trailers everywhere being sold. And like, yeah, we should be easy. Well, it just is conversation. We're not, don't pull the
Doing
trigger
it.
on it.
Yeah.
So then when I was just, like you said, we talk nearly every day. Hey, what's going on today? And you've got 100 different things, and one of them trying to figure out this trailer, that for next football season, time's getting kind of close, and what are we going to do? How are we going to swing it? How are we going to go about getting it, raising money and all that? And I just thought to myself, it can't be that expensive. I've looked at the trailers on Facebook. I know what we're looking for. And you mentioned what we needed and the size and all that. So I just started asking the guys, around our years, right? Anywhere from 2009 to 2015, 16 guys,
Yeah.
maybe even
Solaris.
later. So I'm just hitting up individual guys and group chats with others and just putting it out there. Hey guys, would you mind helping out with raising money or giving money right now? We need this trailer for football games. This is why. They all get it. They know how important the
The tailgate
tailgates
is.
are, and for
Yeah.
so many reasons, right?
Yeah.
And so Immediately responses were all positive, and I just asked you, hey, guys are willing to send money now. How do you want it? And we just gave them the link, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the easiest way for them to track it, for you to track it, for you to get it immediately, and
Yeah.
right to our funds. So
Yeah.
I just sent them the link, and I think everyone donated something and raised what was the total that we raised in
Yeah.
that one 24-hour period?
Yeah, between the people that you contacted in those group chats and then privately, I think we raised like $3,600 in the span of like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah,
Um,
it was quick.
which yeah, and it was like it was faster than I was ready. I'm texting you, like Robbie Neal is like texting me on the side, like how much more do we, and then
Right,
he's like,
right.
he like sends me a donation. He's like, or he asked me how much we needed left, and I told him, and he sent me what was left of what I asked for or whatever. He's like, go buy the trailer right now. So we got all the money, and then I think it's important to really highlight Sam Vathiatis throughout this
Right.
conversation, because he's the one that's really spearheading the tailgate
Yeah,
operations.
of course.
This guy has poured a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of his own money into making killer tailgates over the last 2 years.
He knows how to do a good tailgate. That's for sure.
Man, he's been texting me. He's like, "Oh man, I got a new recipe for this year. Like, I've been trying it out with my neighbors, dude. Can't wait to get your hands on." He's excited, very passionate guy,
Yeah.
and so he's the guy who is pulling the trigger with the tailgates, or sorry, with the trailer. So we raised. I looked at it this morning, just under $6,000,
Nice.
which is enough for we put a deposit down on a new like build. It's going to be blue.
Yeah.
It's going to be a new trailer, and then he's going to be able to fit it out how he wants to get.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
because we had, when I was telling the guys originally, hey, I gave them something to look at, something like, hey, this on marketplace right now is what we're looking at. Something like this, it's $4,000.
Mhm.
This is what we need to raise. We need this. Will you send money? And so that's when we have a target, right? And it's that 4,000, and guys
Yeah.
are sending in. They're like, I'll send in. Was it like Kyle O'Neill? With
$157 or something.
yeah, for his weight class, and then other guys are like one up in that. And Borgia's like, what was it? Borgia
150. Yeah, like Ben sent 150 and Borgia sent 151 or something.
Right. Yeah. And then some guys wanted to send their class donation like 2011, and then Cody Solari, I know he really stepped up too and was like, "What do you need? I'll come to the rest or whatever." So he, I know, put in a large share too. So big shout out to him and all those guys that just stepped up right away, and we showed them what we needed. We had a need for a tailgate trailer because without having a trailer, it's not going to be a good tailgate. It's going to be very difficult to do, and just a lot more issues. And we know how important the tailgates are. We were always big on, kind of doing all those things outside of season, just as important as season, to just keep the guys together and, doing all that. So we knew how important it was and showed them what we needed, and then the guys responded. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, they sure did. And I think what you're getting at is like, it's just nice to know that like it's something as silly as a tailgating trailer, like asking the dudes that you're so like, you were tight with for the last 15 years, that like for something small like that and to have such an immediate response is like, wow, I'm like pretty proud to be part of this group,
Oh, yeah.
And that was like 30 people we talked to. Imagine if we had like really needed something in a bad, like if something was bad or needed to call attention to something more serious. Like, So yeah, it was definitely like a moment where I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Just like I can pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, like we have this goal. Like, you know how important this is. You've seen this firsthand. Like, can you help us out? And boom, like 30 seconds later, we've got overwhelming responses. So yeah, I think that's where you're going. And I mean, um, and we're not done with this endeavor. Like Sam's getting the trailer. He's got a bunch of tents and tables and stuff and chairs, but I think the next thing he wants us to do is try and there's other stuff in the background too, like a generator and another smoker and stuff. So Zach White told me he's got a couple generators that we could borrow, and I'm sure you've got one. Like, there's plenty of people that can help out with that type of stuff. But the big thing was the trailer. So I know Sam's excited for tailgate season. I'm certainly excited.
Oh, yeah.
And I think also, besides having a good time and eating good food and hanging out with good people, like, it offers a really good environment for recruiting.
Yeah.
So that is really why it's valuable to Navy Wrestling Club, besides just, like I said, the good food, good vibes, and good people, is like, it offers an opportunity for the club to have recruits interact with alumni, interact with the team in a pretty fun and social environment. So obviously Colat and the guys value that as well.
Oh yeah. I always found myself, man, just hanging out on tailgate, talking to the guys. And that's what I like. So
yeah, you don't even want to go into the game. Like, we'll just put it on the TV and watch it, and like, I don't need to go in the game. I'll just hang out here. Yeah.
That's right.
So there's still work to be done with that, but Sam's,
because every tailgate costs,
oh man, yeah,
comes with a big, large cost, providing that type of entertainment each time, so donations at each tailgate are greatly needed. So
the food obviously, and we'll keep growing it. It's going to keep getting bigger. And so thanks to everybody who chipped in for that. And if you're interested in helping out some more, just hit us up and we'll point you in the right direction. We'll get you in touch with Sam, or I'll help you out. But thank you to everybody who responded to the call to action on the trailer stuff. Awesome. Well, I guess we could kind of switch, transition into blue and gold. That is a tailgate weekend.
Yeah.
We got FAU, Florida Atlantic University. It's homecoming weekend.
Should be a win.
Yes, I hope so. That triple option is going to come in clutch.
That's right.
But so B&G duel will be October 25th. From what I'm tracking, the game is Saturday against Florida Atlantic, and we'll be using the trailer.
The Friday is the 24th.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So the blue and gold match will be Friday evening?
Yes, sir. Friday, I think 7 p.m.
Nice.
In Dahlgren Hall again, likely. Obviously, we'll hash out all the details later. But yeah, the Friday, the 24th, will be blue and gold. 25th is that homecoming game against Florida Atlantic. And I don't know the time of the game.
3:30.
3:30.
Yeah. That's what I looked up because, trying to couple it up with another event. We'll see. But I checked that game. I think most all the games that we have at home are 3:30. That's 3:30, yeah.
So by the time blue and gold comes around, we'll be in the fall. We will have started. We will have kickstarted our fall campaign. I mentioned we raised $100K for the spring, but we're gonna push for another $100K in the fall. Last year, if you remember, well, you obviously remember because you were there and a big part of it. But we did a social up at in Fed House. Yeah, Fed House, which was fun. Like, we had a good time. We did that right before the duel. This year, instead of Fed House, we're gonna do the social, Navy Wrestling Club social for the blue and gold at the tailgate
Perfect.
during homecoming. I think I already shared that with you, but I think that'll be a good opportunity for us to do what I was thinking is part of this fall fundraiser, which I've also bounced this off of you, is like an auction.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking, and Dustin, please elaborate when I'm done because I feel like I'm jumbling all over the place here. But I think doing some sort of auction at the tailgate or at the social would be fun. Have some old like Navy wrestling memorabilia, maybe like a golf outing with Coach Barry and Ty because they like to play golf. I forget like maybe some cornhole boards. I forget what else we were talking about, but
yeah, you have a lot of great ideas with stuff to auction, and kind of like you said, all available and to see, touch, feel, or at least display or pictures for auction and off. Silent auction.
Yeah,
I've seen it done a couple different ways. Right? Have you been to like a Ducks Unlimited banquet?
No, I haven't.
So they know how to run a banquet and raise some money, with selling stuff or auctioning stuff. They do a couple different things. They do a large, audible auction for certain things, but they also have a silent auction with all kinds of items on tables, and there's a list, and you just go write your name and the price or something you're willing to give. I have to remember how it's actually done, and if you're the guy that at the end when they close down the silent auction, that is the highest bidder on that item, you get it. So you can do it that way, and it can be some pretty cool creative ways. A raffle, right? They do like big raffle tickets, and you throw in or you buy however many you want, and then you keep your half, and then you throw the other half in a big bin. And say for certain items, there's a few or whatever, or maybe just one big drawer. Whoever, wrestler, coach, or whatever, goes and digs their hand in the jar and pulls out the one ticket, and that's exciting. That's who wins that item. There's a few different ways to do it. So, and you had a lot of good ideas with stuff to auction. We just need to make sure we got it, I guess.
Yeah, I'll start putting all that together this month, July. I'll start putting it together, and then finding the gaps. Like if there's things that I might run into like that are going to cause problems, I'll have time to figure it out. But I could try and pull up the list. Actually, I can do that really quickly.
And let me know if you need help with finding or sourcing certain things. I'll see what I can do and get it out there.
Yeah. So what I had. Cornhole boards, vintage Navy wrestling singlet, like in a shadow box, maybe signed by somebody, whoever, maybe not signed, whatever, maybe like a custom engraved bottle of Buffalo Trace or whatever with Navy wrestling logo, like a custom portrait, some custom apparel that only you like that you would only be able to get through our Under Armour store or something. Like custom Yeti mugs, golf outing with Barry. Matt side tickets to like the Army Navy duel or something. NCAA lower bowl tickets.
Those are big raffles. That's great.
Yeah, so that was, I mean, you've seen this list. Those are some. I'm sure we can think of some other ideas between now and then. But that's what I've got chalked up for now. So if anybody has any ideas, please let me know, because I'm hoping that the auction turns into a fun and fruitful endeavor. Did I lose you, Dustin? Well, while we wait for him to hop back on, there he is.
Hey. Okay. Cool.
Power went out.
Yeah, my storm's rolling through. It might mess with my internet. Dude, here in West Virginia, boy, you know.
Like thunderstorms?
It's a struggle. Just the internet in general.
Just the internet?
Wi-Fi.
Yo, Starlink, bro.
Stuff. I know. That's actually a good idea. I'm wanting to bring that up. Need to look into that. I think Starlink's the way to go.
Yeah, dude.
Do you actually use it?
No, I'm just
no, I know Bryce Sidoris uses Starlink out in Idaho at their lake camp area. Mm-hmm. Dude, it works awesome. I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere. You can really get cell service and Starlink.
Yeah. It is wild, man. When I was on the Mew, dude, you're gonna be so like blown away that we had Wi-Fi, bro, on the Mew. Like we're floating out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and people are scrolling TikTok. Like it was
because
stupid.
of Starlink.
Yes, we had Starlink on the ship.
Is that what they are able to do now? That's crazy.
Yes, I mean they would put up firewalls and block. You know, for certain hours they would say like, okay, you're not using this for TikTok.
River City, man.
Yeah.
River City. I was in constant state of River City. We didn't even. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it was.
We didn't have
probably,
Starlink. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And then some of the guys in my battalion like had their own personal Starlink, and they just like throw it like out the freaking.
But that's like no, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did. I don't know what they were officers, so they probably had some sort of authorization. But
I heard about some Navy chiefs and stuff like that recently actually get busted for, using Wi-Fi or Starlink maybe when they weren't supposed to, and
really,
they got busted. Dang. Not good.
Well, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm definitely not. It was authorized. It was not
authorized. It was authorized. Yeah.
Yes, they would. This person would not have been breaking any rules. I promise you that. Right, but he had his own thing set up on the flight deck doing something.
Hey, you never know. You got people breaking rules all left and right, but you never thought they would ever before, right?
I guess so. Yeah, that's true. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble out here, though.
Yeah, I know. But guys would never break the rule. Guy never break the rule. What's going on?
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Hot water.
Well, he's actually retired now, so he's probably the guy was whatever.
Statute of limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Not competing anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I don't know how we got. Oh yeah, we were talking about the storm and stuff, but
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Blue and Gold weekend, that's gonna be big. So duel Friday, game Saturday, auction Saturday, social Saturday. You were trying to set up a little golf outing for us.
I was. I've been wanting to set up a small golf tournament at first to just get things going as another really good fundraiser for the club and another way to just bring in alumni, bring in fans, bring in supporters from all around the Navy wrestling community and just have a good time playing golf. And what that event brings is always a really good day. So I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and it's just been tough to pick a day, pick a weekend, and find a place to do it that will accommodate. I thought we were going to be good for October 25th, Blue and Gold weekend at Compass Point, which is out in Pasadena, and the idea there being it'd be like a 9 a.m. start time, probably take 5 hours, and give guys time to get back for kickoff. I still trying to work out those details and things. Trying to make sure the Compass Point has us down for that weekend because I contacted them early in the year and we blocked off that Saturday anyway.
Yeah.
But since you let me know that yes, the 25th, because that was still up in the air, being the 24th, being the day for the blue and gold match, I wasn't able to get a deposit to him and actually solidify the booking. So since you've let me know,
My fault.
yep,
It's my
20. No, not your fault. I know how it goes, but since it's like, hey, yeah, that weekend's good, we're still ahead of it where we should be able to plan on a golf tournament because the course does most everything. We just make sure that guys have registration and can show up and play. But the golf course does most of the work for the tournament. I mean, they've done 100 of them before, and they really do everything. But haven't been able to get a hold of the guy to make sure that we have that date. So it's something still up in the air, and like you were talking about other options maybe for that day. That's not going to complicate things as much.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm more for like the simple thing.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot that goes into a golf outing.
Right.
So when I was bouncing ideas off the office about that weekend, about because I told him that you were trying to string together a golf thing, and they were like, well, what about pickleball? Like that's something that everybody like can do. Not everybody gets excited about golf, but everybody can play pickleball. I was like,
yeah, more and more people are getting excited about pickleball too. That is for sure.
And it might be easier. Like there's like clubs in Annapolis that are like you can rent courts or like reserve courts for X number. So that's an idea. And then, the other thing that would be pretty easy, I think, is like a cornhole tournament, like setting up a bracket for people and then doing that at like during the social, either before the game, during, or all the above. So maybe what we'll do, like, I think you should keep pinging Compass Point.
Yeah.
But maybe what I'll do is I'll set up like a Google survey form or something and send it out in the newsletter and say like, hey, like what seems more interesting to you, and then we'll, based on the feedback, we can kind of go from there.
Yeah.
If that's cool with you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Part of me, like I'm pulling for cornhole. I think that would be fun just to do it like right there.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think that'd work really well.
So we'll see. I'll see. Of course, if we have like 50 or 60 teams sign up for something, we're gonna need to do this not in the parking lot. We're gonna need like 10 different cornhole boards.
Right.
But we'll see what the responses look like.
Yeah,
I guess.
See what the responses are. Yeah, I'd be excited about pickleball too because I'm a bit of a regular player now. After my twin sister and my dad got heavily addicted. Dude, my dad in the winter, my dad plays like 4 days a week.
Really?
Yeah.
So is he good?
Yeah. For I mean, for his age, man, he moves just as fast as anyone else out there, and coordination is spot on, man. Yeah, so yeah, he's wild. 68. He just turned 68 in
Sign him up.
Oh yeah, he would be like, I'll be there. He'd come back for that for sure.
I don't know if I've ever met your dad.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's been a while, I'm sure, but
but man, he would come out there. He would show up. Shoot, my sister would, Ariana. She would too. She'd come out and beat everyone. She's good. She's better than me.
You can hold your own against your dad, or do you beat your dad?
Yeah. I mean, I can hold my own, but I'd say if we played, we're like 50-50. My sister, she'll beat me 9 times, 8 times out of 10.
Dang.
She's good.
Dang.
Yeah. And the only way I can probably get her now, she just had a baby.
Okay.
Almost 2 months ago now. So
Okay.
she hasn't played for a while. Right, being pregnant 9 months, she wasn't really
Yeah.
getting out there either. But yeah, man, they could tell you how to run a pickleball tournament and nuances there, and yeah, they do that stuff a lot. So
What did she have?
a baby girl.
Is that her first?
Yeah, yeah.
Is this your first niece?
Yes, yeah. I have 2 nephews, and this is our first
Mm.
girl for the family. Yeah.
How's that been?
Oh, it's great. We love it. She's precious, man.
And
It's
you
different
guys,
having a girl than boys. It's
yeah, wait till she's got that attitude though. My daughter's freaking killer attitude. But you and correct me if I'm wrong, like you guys live like pretty close together, right? Like you
yeah.
get to yeah.
Oh yeah. My older sister and her family with the 2 boys, they live in Lovettsville, Virginia,
Okay.
which is just past Harper's Ferry. And then my twin sister with her daughter now lives in Leesburg, Virginia.
Okay,
They're
yeah, yeah.
both within 45 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
then
it's
your folks are pretty close to you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're still in the same place. So
Dang.
yeah. Inwood, West Virginia.
Harper's Ferry. I gotta get up there, man.
Yeah, yeah. I know. It's a slow time. You said that. So what's
It's
up?
never slow though. It's never
Yeah.
slow,
Yeah.
dude. We're having our third here in a couple weeks, so
Wow, yeah.
I'm gonna be off the grid for the next couple months after that, probably. Just
Oh, yeah.
unreachable.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Exciting, man.
yeah,
3. Good.
yeah. It's turning into a big party here.
And you know if it's gonna be a boy or girl yet?
We're having another boy. Yep.
Nice.
So
Right.
yeah, our 5-year-old's a boy, and then our 3-year-old's a girl, and then
Yeah.
this
That's
one's a boy.
great.
So, yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, man, that was all that we hit everything on the agenda. I'm actually impressed with how efficient we were with our time, even with your storm interruption
Yeah,
there.
cut out. Yeah. Hopefully I don't think we lost. It says it's still recording everything, so that's good.
Yeah, we're good. We're still rolling. We're cooking.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
anything else that I'm missing, dude? Anything that's on your mind about things like maybe stuff we have talked about or haven't talked about via text offline type stuff, like any other ideas that you got rolling through your head? Because
No, not really. We have a lot of ideas, but we talk about like everything we just did every day, and we pretty much hit it. And you do so much for the club, man. It's awesome because without you, like these things wouldn't be rolling. And the newsletter is great, and the emails, keeping up with these podcasts, just getting info out there and connecting with people, and just giving people things to watch, see, and be updated on. It's good stuff, and I love it. You're doing great.
No, I appreciate it, man. Well, I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for people like you. I being back has been a huge blessing. I am very excited about the future of the program.
Yeah.
And the Navy Wrestling Club, obviously, and just to be a little part of that is pretty cool. And no, I mean, yeah, I'll keep sending out the word if people are listening, but sometimes I feel like it falls on deaf ears, but not in a bad way. It's just like, I realize my flaws, I guess. Like I know I'm not the best at all of this stuff. So like when I do get feedback from people, that is appreciated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you just get better at it. You get better every time. So
but
good stuff.
Yeah, dude. Season 2, episode 1. I think next week I'm gonna try to get Barry on here. Get Barry Davis on here. And then the following week, we'll make the announcement about our new club coach / athlete, who I know everybody's gonna everybody's gonna love this guy. He's a stud, like real intense dude. Like he would have been a great midshipman / officer, like, or Marine, but yeah, good dude. Yeah,
one of
good
ours.
dude. Yeah, he should have been one of ours, but
It should have been. Yeah.
but he found a lot of success in college, and I'm excited to get to know him, and I think introducing him to the podcast will be fun because I have a lot of questions. Just get to know him a little bit better. But in my brief interactions and conversations with him, I know he's going to be a good fit for sure.
Nice.
And I don't know if I've even told you who it is. Have I even told you who it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fairly certain. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure I know, but
So
I'm always surprised. But.
There's been a few leaks. There's been a few leaks.
Yeah. I just keep my ear open, man.
All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you taking time to meet up. I'm glad you got to get your Margarita Monday on and help your dad out in the process. But
yeah,
I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon, dude.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see you. Thanks for having me, Peyton.
See you, buddy. Later.